everyone, thanks for trying to learn to play games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm going to look at a brand new game currently on Gamefound, which is Sword and Sorcery, and this is part of the Teburu system, so you do need the Teburu main board to be able to play this game. So this is a brand new game. It is a 1 to 5 player game that takes roughly 1 to 2 hours to play, and is a fully cooperative game where all the players are working together to complete the scenario they've chosen to go on. And in this one, you are going to be using the Teburu system that is going to manage all the heavy lifting. For those of you that have played Swords and Sorcery before, some of you know that this is a heavier system and it is a great dungeon crawler. So with the Teburu system, it's going to streamline some of that, being able to take care of some of that in the background and being able to manage the enemies and give you all kinds of new surprises, as you never quite know what's around a different turn. Even if you've played a mission before, there are new things to explore or new situations that are going to come up based on what the system throws at you. So in this video, I'm going to go over the main features of both the Teburu system, if you're not familiar with that, and some of the new features for Swords and Sorcery, and show you a sample turn to give you a better idea how this one plays and whether or not this is one you want to back on Gamefound. As always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we continue to grow and build and produce this content. Before getting into the video, I also do want to point out that all the materials for Swords and Sorcery are prototype materials and are subject to change, and look a lot better than the final production copy of the game. Also, for those of you that have the Swords and Sorcery system already, there are different pledge levels, so you can just get the upgraded or conversion components instead of getting all of the additional components that you may already own. So let's go ahead and head to the table and we'll see what this one's all about. So the first thing I want to cover is the Teburu board itself and how this whole thing works. So first off, you're going to have a board that's going to be folded out, and this is going to have different sensors built into it, as well as a docking system that is going to have your power cable connected to it and a light indicating when it's ready and when it is charging the different dice and all of that different stuff. And this has a magnetic piece that is going to hold this unit into place. From there, this also has a spot where you can place your dice to charge them up, and each die is going to have all the different faces on it, and there's going to be a little number that's going to be in the corner, which you may or may not be able to see, but it is going to have the 0 number on it, and that is the one you're going to place on the docking station to charge. And this light will change, as you can see, to a little green blinking light, meaning that the die is being charged, and you can have multiple dice on there at once. From there, let's talk about the setup of the game. So in the app itself, which is a free app that you'll download, you're going to go ahead and start off, and this is going to have you setting up your game area. So first off, you're going to have a spot for multiple devices. So if you want each player to have their own controller, you can do that, and the tablet is going to be your main interface. Or you can simply have the tablet being the only device and your main interface. Obviously, the multiple devices is recommended, but for the sake of this video, let's go ahead and go with a single device. So from there, it's going to search and try to find the connection to that unit. So make sure that your power cable is plugged in. And once it finds that, we'll be ready to move on to the next step here. All right, so we found the connection. So next, it is going to find the dice, or you compare new dice as well. I have my 2 dice loaded, so let's go ahead and move on from there. All right, so now it's going to have you choosing one of the different things. You can play online with other players, but that has not been activated for the demo version. So we're going to choose a local game. All right, so from here, then it is the main game screen. So I can choose either to resume a game or to start a new game. So let's go ahead and start a new game. And there is sound with this as well, but I have it turned off for the sake of this video. All right, so now it has the orientation of the board, and you can rotate that to line up with how your board is. So we have the little gauge on the side here, and we have our main game board that we're going to be placing out, and you're simply going to line that up with the board itself. All right, so once we have that, we're going to go ahead and hit ready. And the next thing is our smart tile. So this will have a sensor in it. So we're going to place this on the board, and we're going to place a door in there, and then we'll line that up. And once it is lined up properly, it's going to go ahead and give us that green check mark, and then we're going to hit the ready on the next thing. All right, so from there, it's going to have us placing out our 4 heroes. And again, for the demo, you only have 4 heroes, but in the main game, it'll be 1 to 5 players. All right, so I have those. So moving on, now I'm going to have 2 goblin or gremlin enemies that are going to be placed out. 1 green one and 1 blue one. All right, moving on. Now I have my shield token. So this is a place where your heroes will regenerate and come back out if they have been defeated earlier in the game. All right, so then it's going to give us some story to go along with things. And then we're moving into the time phase. All right, so it's going to show our 4 heroes, all their different statuses. It's going to remove any status effects that the heroes currently have that were removed at this time. And we're ready. We're going to go ahead and jump into the battle phase. So from there, I'm going to choose a hero that I want to activate, and I'm going to hold down the activate button. I also have a number of different things up here, and you can click on any one of them and it's going to tell you exactly what that is. So I have some soul charges here. So when a hero dies, 1 soul charge is spent to resurrect them. If a hero dies and no soul charges are available, the quest is over. Next are soul points. So when enemies are killed, and sometimes as a reward during quests, some fragments of the soul return to the heroes in the form of soul points. Soul points can be spent by a hero during the time phase to enhance his soul rank by 1. And it is not going to be able to be used in the prototype. And the final thing are crowns. So in the Sword and Sorcery world, you're going to gain crowns, and you'll be able to use those to buy different items and whatnot at certain points in the game. Then you also have the map up in the top corner, so you can hit on that, and that's going to bring up all the different information on the map. You can click on those different things, and it's going to tell you what is in there. And by clicking on, okay, so it does tell you on certain things what is going on. And as well with the enemies, it's going to bring up the full enemy stats on all their different things, and you can click on those to find out what the different attacks are going to be that the enemy has, and all the different effects and preferences. And this is going to, most of this is going to be handled all by the system itself. And so you don't have to remember all these things. The system is going to be able to do them, but you are able to look through and find out what is going on throughout the game, so you can kind of determine what the enemy might do at different points. So let's go ahead and move into the game. So we're going to choose a character activate. So let's go ahead and start with our rogue. All right, so moving into the rogue's turn. So first off, at the bottom of the screen is going to be the different features that the character has. So you have your movement activity and a number of points that you can spend to move around the board. You'll have your combat activity, and these are the different combat points you can spend to activate some of your offensive powers. And you also have action activity, the different points you can spend to activate some of your different cards. All right, so on your cards themselves, you're going to have the name of the card along with the cost and different resources. So this one's going to take an action ability. It's also going to have a cooldown, which means that I can only use this once every 3 turns. And it'll take 3 turns for this to become available again, and then the effects of that. And there are a number of different cards, with some of them being shaded out, which means that I have to meet certain conditions to be able to use them. So with this one, it says once per round, perform an extra movement. And so this one right now I cannot use. And same with the dagger, as that one I have to be in a space with an enemy, and the sneak attack has a range of 0. It's also going to show the number of dice you're going to roll and any additional abilities or effects you can activate by spending the energy bolts. So from there, you also have different gauges at the top. So you'll have your actions, you have all the different items that your character has, and backpack slots and additional slots you can unlock throughout the game. And you also have your character breakdown and all your different powers you currently have, as well as your rank and your alignment, and then all of your different abilities. And then finally, you have a slot for the quest. This is going to outline what you are currently trying to achieve and any other bonus action or bonus quests you have. Okay, so let's go ahead and start from here. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and move Shay, as I want to get her into combat. So I'm going to go ahead and move her into this space. And there is an auditory footstep that you're going to hear along with that. You can also double check on the map to show where your character is. So it did recognize that she moved, and so she is in that space. So then let's go ahead and move into this space here. And now she has moved into there. All right, going back. Now you can see that the dagger highlighted as it is an action that I can use, and so I can carry that out. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and use that. All right, so this one is going to tell me that I'm going to be rolling 2 dice, and it shows the different things that I can spend energy on and a little bit more about each one of those things instead of just the single word. Now with this, as I have the action ability still, I can spend that with my attack or combat ability to activate this with focus, which gives me +1 success on this, which can be very useful. And I do have 2 of those, so why not? Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so then I'm going to choose my target. So let's go after the green goblin. He's a little less hit points, so let's see if we can take him out. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and confirm. All right, so now it's going to have me rolling my dice. So I'm going to grab the 2 dice, and I have to actually physically roll these, and it's going to shift into that, and then I'll go ahead and roll, and it's going to automatically calculate those rolls based on what came up on the dice. So I do have 2 energy bolts, so I can spend those to activate these different abilities, and I happen to have 2, so I can activate each one of these abilities, and each one can only be activated once. So right now it's going to do 2 lethal damage, which is going to bypass any defense that this goblin or gremlin has, and it also does 1 additional damage that the gremlin can potentially defend against. So once I continue from here, now the gremlin is going to go, and the computer is going to handle all the different effects. So the enemy is going to roll. He rolled that, which again, it's going to determine what happens. And so I did additional point of damage, which didn't matter. He had been defeated already. And then it's going to tell me all of the different things that happened. So I dealt those damage. I got the bonus damage on the gremlin. He died and dropped 5 crowns, and the party receives 1 soul point. And then it's going to have me updating the board. So it's going to have him remove the green goblin or gremlin, and it's going to have me adding a treasure token to that space. Now I cannot pick that up as there is another enemy in that space currently. And now I've updated the board, so I'll click that button, and it's updated my different stats. So I still do have 1 additional action or 1 additional action ability. So I could trigger one of those if I wanted to. But I think I'm okay for now. So I'm going to go ahead and end my turn. So I'm going to hold down on that. And now it's going to go into close combat, activating any enemies that are in close combat. So the blue gremlin is going to activate, and he rolled pretty well at 2. So I get to roll my defense. And I got 2. And I also got a bolt, so I can activate my ability there, which is going to give me a 3rd shield. So I was able to defend all that. And I blocked it. All right, so then I continue from there, and it's going to show any additional things that happen, and then it goes back into another character's turn. And again, I get to choose which character I want to activate throughout that. So let's look at one more example of this. Let's go ahead and go with, let's go with Thorgrim. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with him. So again, it gives me my different stats. So he's got only 1 action ability and 1 attack or combat ability. So I'm going to go ahead and move in. And then his stuff lit up because now he's in the space with an enemy. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off with Bless. I'm going to go ahead and bless the area. So I'm going to go ahead and choose to use that. And I have to choose a location on the board. And for that, I'm going to use my marker for that to signify, and then I'm going to choose the character I want to bless. So I'm going to go ahead and bless Thorgrim for that, and it shows what he has. So he has received the blessing, and now I'm going to go ahead and hit. So I'm going to go ahead and roll for the battle axe or the battle hammer, and I'm going to go after the blue goblin, and I'm going to get 3 dice. So I'm going to roll the first 2, and those both red. So then the last one is that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and spend those points. I got 3, so I'm going to go ahead and do both actions. Okay, so then it's going to, I knocked him prone. And then he's going to roll his defense, and he got 2 of those. So unfortunately, he attacked me back with his spine, or his spikes, but I was able to kill him outright, so that's good. Okay, so then it tells me exactly what happened. So the blue gremlin died. He dropped 10 crowns, and the party receives 1 soul point. And then my dwarf picked up the 15 crowns, so it has us removing each of those. So I'll go ahead and zoom in on this so you can see what's going on here. And so it shows that we're going to remove the blue gremlin and the crown pile. So I've updated the board, and I have no actions left, so that will finish off his turn. So from there, then it's going to have us activating another character. So at this point, I have eliminated all the enemies, and there is the door there. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. And also, when I picked up the crowns, you can see that they have popped up here in my inventory, and I have those 2 soul shards that I unlocked earlier. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and slide this over a little bit, and let's go ahead and choose the paladin to go. All right, so it's going to move into his turn. I'm going to go ahead and move up 1 and 2. And then I'm going to open this door. So in order to do that, I just simply slide it away, and it detects that I have done so. So from there, then it's going to give me the story of what is going on. All right, so then it is going to show me what to place. So I'm going to be dropping a new tile in there. So I'll add that to that area. And it also has me placing the new location, or a smart tile in there. So I'll go ahead and drop that in there, and it has detected it. And I have a new token that I'll be dropping in that top room. All right, so I still have 1 move action, so I'm going to go ahead and step into that area and find out what happens with that. So it tells it's got more story that's going to happen, and I have found a trap, so I have to roll a die and see what happens with that. All right, so I got a success. All right, so I found a tripwire, and this is going to tell me what happens with all this. So because I did not get tripped up by that trap, the raiders in this room are surprised and receive the stunned status effect. All right, so the token is going to be moved into that room, and both of the new enemies are going to be placed out in that area. And I've updated the board so that I can continue, and I still have some stuff to do during my turn. And I think I'm going to end there. So I hope this gives you a better idea about both the Teburu system and Swords and Sorcery, and a little bit more about that. The final thing I want to go over in this overview, as you kind of saw, is that this game kind of walks you through it. There isn't going to be a massive rulebook. It's going to outline some of the different features on the game, but overall, as you jump into the game and as you saw, a lot of it is very intuitive, and all the information is there just by clicking on some of the different submenus and being able to move around the board. You're able to jump into these games very quickly and kind of learn as you go, as opposed to having to dig into a massive rulebook and then start working through these. So again, I hope this video helps you on deciding whether or not you want to back this game on Gamefound. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post those in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Or swing by the Gamefound page and drop any questions you have in the comment section as well. I'm sure the creators would love to hear from you, and more than happy to answer any questions you have. Until next time, I'll see you later.